Hey everybody. This is my second video on Longfellow. Um, I'm going to be walking you through what he was doing with the cross of snow. Um, as I said in my previous Longfellow video on the tide rises, the tide falls, I'm hoping that you've done a few things. First of all, certainly you have to have read these pieces already and thought about them. And I'm hoping that you've gone through those comprehension slash guiding questions. This will have you think about this piece in a couple different ways. Now, most importantly, you need to know a little bit about Longfellow's past and his life to understand what he was doing here. While in The Tide Rises, the Tide Falls, he was writing about the cycles of life and death and how that's just part of life, is that we die, we go away, we're forgotten. Nothing is permanent. The only constant in life is that cycle of life and death. Here he's focusing more on death and what follows. And he's referencing his wife's passing, his second wife, whose one night whose dress caught fire, and the two of them tried to get the burning dress off of her, but they weren't able to do it in time. She suffered terrible burns, and she died a few days later. It was a horrific event and one that scarred Longfellow for the remainder of his life. And in this piece, he's really trying to process what happened and what happens when someone dies that you care about deeply. Um, so let's read through it, and I'll try to leave you with some lasting thoughts. In the long, sleepless watches of the night, a gentle face, the face of one long dead, looks at me from the wall, where round its head the night lamp casts a halo of pale light. Here in this room she died, and soul more white never through martyrdom of fire was led to its repose, nor can in books be read the legend of a life more benedight. There is a mountain in the distant west that, sun defying in its deep ravines, displays a cross of snow upon its side. Such is the cross I wear upon my breast these 18 years, through all the changing scenes and seasons, changeless since the day she died. So, guys, in stanza one, he's talking about his wife, how kind of in every night he's in the same room where she burned to death. And he looks up to the wall and sees a painting of her. He remembers her as this gentle face, one of innocence, one of purity, and that even the lamp seems to cast a halo around her. So here he's saying that she's in a better place, that she is in heaven, and that she was, um, even on earth, a kind, pure, angel like figure that now is in resting eternally. A second stanza talks a little bit about her death, and that how never was there one who lived who was as pure as her. No one had a soul more white, and that this this death by fire couldn't have happened to someone less deserving, for she was so kind and so graceful. So that nor can in books be read the legend of life more benedict. Never in all of history could there have been a woman or a person more kind and grateful and gracious, and um, who should be remembered for their purity. That this just horrible thing happened to someone who was so great. Now he references the mountain. And remember, he came across this image of a mountain in a book as he was studying years later, and he was mesmerized by this scene, that this mountain apparently, despite all odds, displayed this snowy cross on its side. And he writes of that this mountain in the distant west contains this snowy cross, despite the sun blasting its hot rays on it. That sun or that snowy cross remains. Such is the cross I wear upon my breast these 18 years, through all the changing scenes and seasons, changeless since the day she died. And he's doing a couple things here. He's talking about his love for her. His love is eternal, that no matter what, it's constantly with him. That over time, 18 years, probably for the rest of his life, he will love her. He will miss her. Um, he will honor her. Love is eternal, and true love can last forever. But at the same time, he's also writing about the cross that he bears, right? This this horrible feeling, one of sadness and of pain and of misery, that he feels these things at the same time. That no matter what happens in life, the good, the bad, he'll always remember his wife. He'll always love her, but he'll always miss her, and he'll always be sad that she's not by his side. Um, and I think if you've, hopefully you haven't, but if you've ever gone through any loss, you can maybe relate to this, that your memories of these people can last forever, and that you experience both things: happiness when you think of the good times you shared with them, but great sadness that they're no longer with you. And that's what he captures with this piece. And he uses nature, being a romanticist, to help convey these emotions. We talk about how in romanticism, nature can reflect spirituality, and that's certainly present in this piece. So I hope that this helps. And if you have any questions, as I said in the previous videos, make sure you contact me.